What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
Am on.
podcast, episode 188, Takeover Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good night, whatever you're doing. You're at home, you're at work. We appreciate you tapping in with us. Sorry we came on a little late. Had to get off work and things of that nature, but we are here to talk about all the latest sports and pop culture entertainment news. Um,
Hmm.
got a lot of things to talk about. ESPN is out here making ESPN and Disney are all making big moves tonight. Um, talk about Giannis for a little bit. Give our predictions on the AFC East. Give our predictions on the NFL awards. Also, the Maul's random news and some other things. So, until we get into that, Maul, how are you feeling?
Man, feeling good, feeling rushed. Apologies, but work was busy as hell. Didn't get off till later than usual. So, um, apologies about that. But man, feeling good, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I can't complain. Ready to talk about these topics, man.
Man, let's do it.
So I know he's going to probably bring it up in random news, but I feel like this deserves its own segment. So I want to talk about the ESPN deal because it's such
Oh yeah,
big
let's go for
news
it.
today. Um, so ESPN made a deal. We'll talk about the NFL one first. So it was already stated that they had already bought the NFL Network and Red Zone, and for like I think 1 point some billion dollars. Um, so they made it official. All the details. ESPN will acquire NFL media assets, NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, and the league's fantasy football service uh, in exchange for a 10% equity stake in ESPN held by the NFL. Uh, ESPN also locked in a multi-year expansion extension for NFL draft coverage, secured additional digital rights for its now direct-to-consumer streaming service launching August 21st, 2025 for $29.99. Uh, extra features include enhanced stats, fantasy tracking, sports betting insight, streaming across Disney Plus, Hulu, and options to bundle with NFL Premium. Red Zone will continue to run the same way with Scott Hansen being the voice of that and bring you all the games on Sunday. So that's not going to change for right now. It could change for the foreseeable future, but right this season is not going to change. Um, the transaction pending regulatory approval is expected to complete by around 2026, with most changes taking effect then. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So they'll pretty much be taking over the whole NFL coverage. Anything that has to do with NFL will run through ESPN. They're gonna be like a one-stop shop for all NFL stuff. Like I said, all the fantasy stuff, all your betting stuff, anything that's NFL covered. The NFL draft is still going to be run through that. Monday Night Football, all that stuff will be on the ESPN app. So if you want to watch the games and all that stuff, it will be on ESPN. Red Zone will be on ESPN too. So um, what are your thoughts on this, man? How do you feel about this? Do you think this is a good thing? You think this is a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I know. There's like this whole perception with ESPN. I think people are burnt out with ESPN. I don't think people are burnt out with ESPN as much so as they're burnt out with the personalities that are on ESPN, i.e., Stephen A. Smith, the Kendrick Perkins, and maybe some people feel a certain particular type of way with the Dan Orlovskis and people like that. But I think it's a good thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, having the NFL Network being having more eyes on it, obviously is a great thing. NFL is doing anything to, popularize its product even more, trying to make it more of a global thing. I know there was some worries, even for me, especially with the red zone part of it. But after Roger Goodell kind of talked about it, I feel like reassured that they're not going to touch red zone. But I was really intrigued of him kind of hinting that they potentially could do this for college football, maybe the NBA. I know a lot of people have been kind of hinting that a lot of people would love to see a red zone NBA, and then obviously with college football and all the games that are going on throughout the whole entire day. I think that would be amazing. You know what I mean? Whoever takes over that college football gig, man, they're going to be in for a rough ride because that's a lot of games that you got to kind of manage. You know what I mean? We know Scott Hansen kind of has it down to the T, but if they're able to perfect that, I think that would be a great thing, especially for college football. You know, we're kind of heading towards like a big two conference in a sense with the Big Ten and the SEC. You might be able to throw in like the Big 12 and the ACC and stuff like that. But it's kind of leaning towards like everybody's just kind of forming to these two big conferences, and it's just kind of go from there. But and then obviously I would assume that ESPN, you know, I think they even kind of mentioned that they will get more games. I think I don't know if it was like 3 or 5 more games or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, obviously, they're going to get the Super Bowl. I think they get the Super Bowl next year, right? They get the Super Bowl. It'll be broadcasting on ESPN next year, right?
I
Yeah.
think
So
so.
obviously they'll get the Super Bowl. Obviously, they still have the Pro Bowl and all that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were to get maybe a Thanksgiving Day game or maybe a Christmas Day game or something like that. You know what I mean? Add more to that because, you know, obviously, you know, they're kind of trying to big up those games. Maybe get a, you know, an international game. Maybe they might even, you know, I don't know how long the deal is with Amazon Prime, but maybe eventually they might get Thursday night games or something like that. You know, the NFL will try to figure something out for them to get more of these games. So you know, it's just kind of like, you know, I'm glad they won't touch Red Zone. I think it's going to be a good thing for ESPN. Obviously, a lot of people own ESPN, so I can't even be mad at it. I was a little concerned with Red Zone, but after hearing Roger Goodell, I'm pretty satisfied with hearing everything.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see this as a bad thing. I think this is where everything is going to, as far as everybody's trying to do the one-stop shop type thing and corner the market on certain sports. So I think that the NFL, ESPN is trying to corner the market when it comes to NFL football, and they want to, get rid of cable TV. So YouTube TV and all that stuff, because that's usually what most people buy YouTube TV for, is to watch NFL football games, some red zone and all that stuff. But now that you have a one-stop shop and you don't have to get YouTube TV for millions of dollars because they charge you up the wazoo for it, now you could just get ESPN, Disney app, and I think they said they're gonna do away
Yeah,
with
Hulu's
Hulu,
getting absorbed.
and it's just going to be exclusively on Disney Plus. So you'll just go there and watch anything concerning with Hulu. So they're trying to make everything just, I guess you could say, more convenient for the consumer, so they won't have 20 different apps on their phone or on their Fire Stick or whatever. They could just go straight to the one thing and watch what they want to watch. So I think it's a good thing. So they also ESPN has also made a deal with the WWE. They announced it today. Also, ESPN streaming uh, becomes the exclusive U.S. home for all WWE premium live events starting in 2026. This includes major shows like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Super Slam, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Money in the Bank. It is a 5-year deal, averaging around 325 million a year. It is replacing WWE's previous arrangement with Peacock, so you'll no longer be watching your PLEs on Peacock. It will be exclusively on ESPN now. Um, Regular weekly shows like Friday Night SmackDown will remain on Peacock and USA Network, and of course, Raw will still be on Netflix on Mondays. Most existing paid TV subscribers, DirecTV, Hulu Live, Fubo, Charter, will get WWE PLEs through ESPN authentication. No extra fees. Through some platforms like YouTube TV and Xfinity may not participate. WWE fans will need ESPN streaming platform to access major events, centralizing WWE tempo shows in one place. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So any all the PLEs will be showed on ESPN now. They will no longer be on Peacock. If you, I guess, if you already have all those streaming services through ESPN, you'll get all that stuff for free. You want to pay an extra fee I know people was tripping at first, thinking that they was gonna have to pay the $30 every PLE, go back to the old days. No, if you have the all the ESPN streaming services, you'll be fine. You'll be able to watch all the PLEs. So, what are your thoughts on that,
I
sir?
think it's a great move with the WWE. Obviously, with them being on a platform like ESPN, it's obviously just going to put more eyes on it. It can make it. We all know how big and grand the WWE is. You saw the turnout for SummerSlam. You see the turnout for WrestleMania. You see the excitement worldwide. Um, it just kind of makes sense to me. I think it's obviously I hear you kind of mentioned it that people were kind of worried that they're going to have to pay an extra $30 to see any of these big time events like a WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or Royal Rumble or anything like that. I think it'd be dope, you know what I mean, to have, potential. I listened to Ariel Hawani. He kind of stated that, there could be a potential where maybe a WrestleMania is on a ESPN, you know what I mean, as far as like the actual channel, you know what I mean? So I think it'll be pretty dope, man. I think, obviously, you're wrestling fans are going to have to get used to Stephen A. Smith probably be involved in a lot of WWE stuff, and he's going to probably act like he knows what he's talking about. So you're probably going to have to get used to that, and probably see a lot of these casting characters that are on ESPN probably be ingratiated a little bit more. I think the probability of maybe Stephen A. Smith becoming one of those managers that he kind of keeps hinting at, talking about being like the next Paul Heyman, I would not be surprised if that starts to happen, and a little bit more, maybe not the beginning part of next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets involved in some type of capacity with the WWE. I'm sure Triple H would have a field day with that. So hey man, first time we see homie get power slammed through a table, I'm sure the ratings will go through the roof. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Stephen A. Smith. But I think it's a great thing for the WWE, man. I think it's nothing but great things for them, and obviously I think it'll rise up the numbers. It will get it might even have the potential to bring more eyes to the sport. Maybe people that used to watch wrestling, kind of like me, you know what I mean? Me and you have kind of talked about it, how I've been kind of re-ingratiating myself with what's going on in the wrestling world, and tuning in a little bit more. Maybe it'll help those type of people kind of re-ingratiate themselves into the wrestling world, and obviously newer eyes, younger kids, and stuff like that. So it should definitely be nothing but great things for the WWE.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I was a little worried about the $30 thing, but once I heard that it's not going to be an issue, I have no problem with this. Like I said, once again, it's look like ESPN is just trying to be a one-stop shop for most sports, and what better way than to acquire the WWE? They're the hottest ticket when it comes to wrestling right now, and they're rolling right now, and people want to watch these pay-per-views, and it's always hard for them because then they got to download Peacock and do all this other stuff and pay another fee. Where if you got ESPN, or even if you don't have ESPN, you can still just get the ESPN app and all that stuff, and you'll be able to watch all the PLEs. So that that'll be fine. And you still can watch, Raw and SmackDown on Netflix and
I
Peacock.
think
So
the other question is what does that mean for the UFC? Obviously, they're in contract negotiations with ESPN. Does ESPN kind of go in the same route with UFC, and kind of go where even with their pay-per-views and stuff like that? It's going to be an interesting situation with the UFC to see what this means for them, especially with this NFL and WWE. That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? With those two entities, though, that's huge buckets. I'm very curious to see what that means for the UFC. So we'll see.
yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, man. We all know that Shedeur Sanders is a polarizing figure. Um,
Mhm.
ever since his college career, because of his daddy, whose daddy is Deion Sanders, um, and just his whole college career, he has been under a microscope. Even with the draft, him dropping in the draft to the fifth round, we've spoke on it at nausea. um, and him getting drafted by the Cleveland Browns, in that mess with all those quarterbacks that they got. They just signed Tyler Huntley, who was formerly of the Ravens. So I think they just signed him because guys were getting injured left and right. Dylan Gabriel's dealing with an injury. Kenny Pickett's still dealing with an injury. Shedeur supposedly was dealing with arm soreness, but he came back. And It's been a lot of talk about him not getting a lot of raps with the ones, but tomorrow when they play, who they play tomorrow?
They don't play tomorrow. They play Friday, and they play. Who do they play? I want to say the
Panthers, Panthers,
Panthers.
Panthers.
Okay,
Yeah, they
Panthers.
play the Panthers because they're practicing with the Panthers right
Yeah.
now. So they play the Panthers on Friday, and he will be starting. Some people, you know, there is a divide. Some people think that he's being set up for failure. Some people are saying this is a grand opportunity for him. I can see both sides of it. Um, you know, I can see why people would think he's, being set up for failure because he hasn't had a lot of reps with the ones. And if he makes one mistake, that could get, very, very big and it'll be headlines. Shedeur Sanders is not ready. He's not good as we everybody thought. See, I told you this is why he dropped in the fifth round. But he could take this opportunity and go out there and ball out, and it could go in reverse. See, this is why he should have been picked in the first round. This is why he should have got picked over Dylan Gabriel. So I think my man is he's in a I don't want to say a tough spot, but he's in an interesting spot because he will be the talk of the weekend. I think that if he has a really bad game, it's gonna be all the talk on first take, on first things first, on calling Cowher, all of them. They're all gonna talk about it first thing Monday morning. They're going to talk about how Shedeur Sanders did not play good and he's
Yeah.
not ready. And, regardless of the reps and all this stuff, he should have been ready. You got to take the mental reps. And when your number is called, you got to be ready. I already hear it already. I pray that, he does good. I pray that they put him in position to play well. Um, we're just gonna have to see. I have confidence in Shedeur Sanders. I think he's gonna go out there and do his thing. I think that regardless of the situation, he's been in tough situations before. So, and I don't think the moment will be too big for him. I think he's gonna go out there and try to perform at his best. Hopefully, the parts around him, help him out. But I think he'll be fine. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to rise to the occasion. I know the Cleveland Browns, don't have the utmost confidence in their organization and how they run things over there. But I do have confidence in Shedeur Sanders, and I do think that he's going to go in there. And I think the team as a whole, outside of the coaches and the owners and the GM and how they've handled this situation, you can tell that his teammates love him. You can tell that Miles Garrett really, he loves this young man. I could tell that even when he got drafted, you saw people tweeting like, "Hey, let's get to work. I'm excited." They want Shedeur Sanders there, so it's not a lack of his teammates not wanting him there. It'd be different if you saw guys in interviews and it was like, this dude, just because he a Sanders, think he can just come up in here like he got to earn it up in here. Like, no, they're not saying that. They want him to succeed. I think they want Shedeur to be the starting quarterback. So this is his chance to go out there and show the world and shock the world and show them, hey man, you you made me go out here with my hands tied behind my back, but I still made it happen. So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it is both sides. I think they are setting him up for failure, and I think Shador Sanders has all the capabilities in the world to make it to his advantage. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm he might be the first non-Raider football player I've rooted for this hard to start out his career. I want this man to succeed. Everybody knows I'm a big Shador Sanders fan. I'm a huge fan of that family because I think those that family is a genuinely good family. I think those are some genuinely good dudes, man, that just love life, want to be a positive to anybody that comes across them, and he wants to be a good teammate. Um, I agree with you. I don't think it's just his teammates that want to root for him. I think that entire fan base is a big fan of Shador Sanders. Um, and I do not trust this Browns organization to put him in the best situation. I know there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be nitpicking everything that he does. But I do agree that I think these players, whether you're first, second, third, whatever the case may be, I think they're going to go out there and fight for him. I think they're going to fight for him because I think they understand the situation that this young man is in. because all signs are pointing that they are trying their hardest not to make this man the face of this team. Whether it's drafting Dylan Gabriel in front of him, trying to talk yourself into an old ass Joe Flacco who did not play good last year, Kenny Pickett, who we all know who he is, and then you sign, no offense to Huntley, but then you sign Huntley for no reason at all. Like it's just mind boggling how you do not want to give this kid a fair opportunity, and it's not fair for Shedeur. And I'll say it again, it's not fair for Dylan Gabriel as well, because you're putting a lot of pressure on him. Because again, Shedeur Sanders is a fan favorite. He is a team. He is the locker room favorite. And now, if you do something to where this kid either gets cut or traded, and then you're gonna put Dylan Gabriel, who has not performed well in these training camps, and let's say he goes in these preseason games and he does not look well, and then he eventually is your starter and does not look well, and then Shedeur Sanders goes to another team and he produces, what do you think is gonna happen in that locker room? What do you think is gonna happen in that locker room? Especially coming off a situation with Deshaun Watson. Like, you just are literally are turning into the dumbest franchise in the history of the NFL. You guys are continuously making the same mistakes over and over again, where you guys just do not learn anything. And I really hope Shedeur Sanders balls out. I really want him to succeed, because I think the Browns fans are not dumb. I don't think any fans for any organization, no matter how you may feel, I don't feel anything like, honestly, I think the Chiefs deserve to have some kind of indulgence, because they just had so much success. Y'all had so much success. I think it's time for y'all to be sad for at least a couple years. But for this amount of just stupidity that an organization is, I don't want, like, no fan base deserves that kind of like stupidity, dog. So I pray to God Shedeur Sanders balls out, man. You know what I mean? I really, really do. And I know everybody's fighting for a job and all that, but he's gonna be the first non-Raider that I'm really, really rooting for, that I want to succeed so bad. I really want this young man to succeed, because I think he is an NFL starting quarterback. I really do. I really believe that. And again, you got to go with what his teammates. His teammates love him. Myles Garrett out there helping him after practice, trying to figure stuff out. You know what I mean? And man, I'm rooting for that kid hard, man. I really am. I'm gonna be paying all my attention on Friday to that game, bro.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I told you all. Like I said, all eyes are going to be on that game, from casuals to people who love Shador to people who hate Shador. They're all going to be watching. They're going to be
Yeah,
ready, and whatever way it goes, the people that hate him, they're going to still find ways to
yeah.
hate. They're gonna say, "Oh, he was playing preseason. Let's see what he does when they game plan for him." Like, it's always gonna be something with that. So, but I think that the young man is ready the opportunity. I think he's ready for the situation. I don't think the lights are too bright for
No,
him. I think when Shador has ever been on the big stage, he's always
he's
showed up.
performed.
Even in a
Yeah,
loss, he's always showed
yeah.
up. So, and he's always left it on the field.
Mhm.
So, and I expect him to do the same thing. Regardless of what happens, I think he's going to leave it on the field and move on and learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what happens. And he's not going to be, you know, satisfied even if he plays good. I think he's going to still be like, nah, I still got to go out here and work hard. And, you know, he's been out there working hard before practice, after practice, working on stuff. So we all know he has the work ethic.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about
No.
that. All right, man. So Giannis is still has no decision yet. He's still undecided on what he wants to do. Does he want to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks? Does he want to leave? He has some level of concern of how this roster is being constructed around him. They cut Damian Lillard. Uh, Nobody was really expecting him to play this year because of the ACL tear. And so they signed Miles Turner. I think they signed some other guys, but I don't think it's enough to keep Giannis around. I think eventually Giannis probably will want to out, or maybe he just plays the season out and go into free agency.
Mhm.
So, what are your thoughts? Do you think Giannis stays? Do you think he gets traded, or do you think he just plays out one season and goes to free agency?
I think the percentages are going higher that I think he eventually leaves. I think right now he's trying to find ways to stay, but at the same time trying to let them down slow. You know what I mean? Like, like he knows the breakup is coming, but he's trying to find a nice way to do it because we all know for a fact this roster has no chance in hell to even make the Eastern Conference Championship. It just does not. Even with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is the top 3 player of all time, top 2. You can put him at 1, whatever the case may be. So it's literally between, Luka, Shea, Nikola Jokic, and him. Those are the guys that are fighting for the best player in the world right now. And it's just not going to happen. You're not going to sit here and tell me Miles Turner is going to be the guy that pushes them over the edge when you still don't even have a true point guard who like it's just not happening. Porter Jr. He's your point guard. That's not happening. I know there's been conversations where you could potentially have Giannis being the point guard of this team, but now you're just adding more load to him. You're asking him to be the point guard, run the offense, be the top scorer, be the top rebounder, be the best defender. Like you're asking for an injury with him in that type of capacity. And I just think there's too many options for him to be on an actual legit contending teams, man. You have the opportunity to play with the Knicks, depending on that situation, who they want to trade with Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby. Obviously, Mikal Bridges can't be part of that trade because of the contract that he just signed. Obviously, Jalen Brunson wouldn't be a part of that trade, but you do have assets with that. You have the Lakers who are going to have cap space next year for him potentially in that pairing of him and Luka Doncic. Like, obviously, that would be way better. And Austin Reeves, that would be a way better chance at winning a title, even though how deep the West is. You got to look at that. I think the Houston Rockets still have the capabilities of trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo with some of the assets they do. They still have some places of cap free where they can absorb him in. You have the Los Angeles Clippers who are going to be positioning themselves. You have a whole slew of teams, you know what I mean? Maybe the Atlanta Hawks, they maybe can get involved in that situation as well. You've heard about the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe they could potentially, throw in Anthony Davis in the trade and maybe some other assets and stuff like that. I just don't see how Giannis stays. Again, I think it's a situation where I think it's hard for him to leave because I think he loves the city, but he did win a championship. And I think he's just trying to find a nice way to just let them down slow. You know what I mean? I could see a situation where I think he plays this year. I think he gives them a fair chance with Miles Turner. But I think at the end of the day, I think he'll just go ahead and next summer, I think he'll be gone. Or maybe even by the trade deadline, depending on how the Bucks season goes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think that he's trying to remain loyal to Milwaukee because he did win the championship with them. But at the same time, I think he wants to move on. I think he's and maybe it's also twofold. Maybe his wife loves it in Milwaukee
It could
too.
be
I don't
tattoo.
know. Uh, and maybe it's kind of tough for him to leave that for that reason. Maybe she likes it out there. Um, but I do think that I do think he's it's 50-50 with him. I think his head is spinning right now. I think he's like, man, I want to stay, but I also want to go win. You know what I'm saying? I want the best chance to win. And I don't know if he's going to be here because we don't have the pieces here. Yeah, I like Miles Turner, but he's not a game changer, just per se. So I could see him just playing the 1 year out and possibly just going to free agency and going to the highest bidder or in the best situation. Or I could see Milwaukee saying, you know what, we need to get some assets. We can't just let Giannis walk out of here and we don't have nothing to show for it. So I could also see him maybe, if not right now, maybe at the trade deadline, they say, hey, we're not looking too good. The team ain't playing too well, and we're not going to win no championship this year. Let's go ahead and get some assets for him and start, planning for the future. So I can see something like that happening and him trading him away to a team where they got some young pieces that they can build, for the future of the Milwaukee Bucks and possibly get some picks too. If they want to go that way, get some young players in the draft because there's a lot of good players that are coming out, coming down the
A
pipeline
lot.
in college basketball. So, um, and overseas too. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could see Milwaukee making that decision for him. I can see them saying, "Hey, look, we understand, we love you, Giannis. We appreciate you bringing the championship to Milwaukee, but I think it's best we just part ways. We get some assets for you. You let us know where you want to go. We'll give you that good service. You let us know where you want us to trade you to, and we'll try to make that happen. So
Mhm.
I could see something like that, but I could be wrong. They could just be like Bungle. They don't care where you go. Send his ass to some bad
He'll
team.
have he'll definitely have some leverage. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
that should be no problem.
yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. It's power packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris and Mall to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris and Mall to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
All right, man. I saw this on the timeline the other day, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. Who are your PlayStation character Mount Rushmore? So when you think of PlayStation, what characters and games do you think of
Mm.
that that are your four Mount Rushmore?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would definitely say Kratos has to be in your Mount Rushmore. Um, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, he has to be one. My personal would probably be Solid Snake with Metal Gear Solid. I think he should be on there as well. And then
It gets tricky.
guess it definitely gets tricky. Definitely gets tricky. I'm gonna go with Leon, man. I'm gonna go with Leon with Resident Evil, man. You know, Resident Evil was a big pioneer in the Sony franchise, especially with PS1 with the original Resident Evil, obviously, two, three, four, five, and all that. I'm gonna go with Leon. I think Leon Kennedy is a very recognizable face. But you also could go with my man. What's my man's name from Final Fantasy? Man, Final Fantasy 7. What was his name?
I didn't,
You never played
I
Final-
didn't, I
I
didn't
forgot
play
his
it.
name. I forgot his name. I'm gonna go with Leon though. I'm gonna go with Leon Kennedy.
For sure. Um, I'm with you. It's funny because I got Nathan Drake, I got Kratos, and I got Snake. But there's one character, and I know that this game was also it made its way to Xbox too, but it started off on PlayStation. Laura Croft, man. I gotta go with Laura Croft, man. She was the first before there was a Nathan Drake. There was Laura Croft, man. She was the first one exploring, going into caves and stuff like that, fighting bears and stuff like that. You know, we wouldn't have she was the first of those type of games, those explorer type games where you're going into the jungle and all that stuff and fighting enemies and stuff like that. She was the first of that kind. So I gotta roll with a with Laura Croft. I'm with you with Snake. Even though Metal Gear, the original started on Nintendo, the Solid series started on PlayStation, and it was from one all the way up to five. So definitely got to show love to Solid Snake. Um, an honorable mention, you could say, because he was kind of like the Mario of the PlayStation. Now I know he made his way to other ones, but it started off on PlayStation, and that's Crash Bandicoot, man.
Yeah, you could say Crash.
My man Crash Bandicoot. That he was like they Mario character. And
Mhm.
he even had commercials on PlayStation where he was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Um, but of course, Kratos, you know, that game, you can make an argument that God of War is one of the greatest series of all time. You know,
Mhm.
from the beginning up until these series where, you know, Kratos is a different person, his personality is different, he's a dad. But the early God of War series, they were great too. When he was, you know, doing his thing as the God of War. Um, but you can make arguments one of the greatest. Nathan Drake and Uncharted, that's probably one of the better series too. Those are not none of those are bad games. Um, like those games are a staple of PlayStation, so you definitely got to show love to Nathan Drake. I kind of went back and forth with Ellie because
I would
Ellie
say
is
more.
the
I would say more Joel. I think people more were
what.
more fan of Joel.
Well, the only thing about Jewel is this: my man only lasted one game. He was there partial to two, but Ellie was
Yeah,
always
but
there,
I think people
and
have
that
more of a heart for Joel though.
they do. They were pissed off because he got murdered in the second one, but I don't know. I would probably put Ellie just because she was more playable in both of them. Whereas in two, you only play with Jewel for like 2 seconds and then he dead. Maybe a little bit in the flashbacks, but even then, playing as Ellie. So
I got another honorable mention. Parappa the
go ahead.
rapper.
Who?
Parappa the rapper. Come on, man. Everybody played that game. Come on. Everybody
Yeah,
played
they
that
did.
game, bro. Shout out to Parappa, man. He's my honorable mention. I'm not saying he's gonna make the top five or top four, but I think he up there. I think he up there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely got to talk about that. But I'm with you though, Nathan Drake, Kratos, and Snake probably are
Yeah.
our top. My where we both agree and are at the top, and then you could just slide in, other people. You got Noah, Devil May Cry. You got a whole bunch of,
Oh,
you know what I'm
Cloud.
saying?
Cloud's his name from Final Fantasy VII. Cloud. I think he'll be up there too. I think a lot of
No,
people will probably have him up there too.
okay, for sure. Yeah, I've never played Final Fantasy, so
Good game. Really good game.
for sure. All right, man. Let's do our bet US Surefire
Let's
picks.
do it.
All right,
All
man.
right,
What you
man.
got?
Degenerate season is here. It's all preseason football for me, man. So all my degenerates, holla at me. All right, man. First up, I like the Colts -6 tomorrow against the Baltimore Ravens. Anthony, he's playing. I think Daniel Jones is playing as well. Obviously, I don't think Lamar Jackson or the starters for the Ravens are going to play. So I like the Colts -6 in that game. I like my Raiders -4.5 over the Seahawks in that game. We are playing our starters. I think we're going to probably play them for like a series or two. But I think our rookies and all that, I think rookies have been getting a lot of high praise. So I think they're going to be able to perform. So I do like that as well. And then last but not least, I'm going to go with Cleveland Browns +6 because I think Shedeur Sanders is going to play a big chunk of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in maybe towards the third quarter and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still in there when the third quarter starts. I'm going to go with the Browns +6.
For sure. I'm gonna go with some WNBA. I'm taking the -8 Dream over the Sky. They just fired their coach, so yeah,
Who?
it's the beginning of it. The
Oh,
Chicago
they
Sky.
did? I
They
didn't
just
see
fired
that.
their coach. Yeah, yeah, they fired him the other
Mm.
day. So it ain't looking too good over there. Um, and I think the trade deadline's tomorrow too. Um, then you got I taking -4 Mercury over the Fever. And I'm taking the Sparks money line over the Connecticut Sun.
Mm. For sure.
If you look at the screen, you'll see the QR code for the BetUS website. If you go ahead and scan that, is it gonna pop up? There you go. Go ahead and scan that. Put your all your information. This first time users only. You put your information in. Put the promo code join125. You get 125% signing bonus. That's three risk-free bets on your first three deposits on $100 up to $5,000, which means on your first, if you bet $100 on your first three deposits, and when you bet and you lose, you can keep your money. So you can keep all your money for your first three deposits, or you can win you some money. So go over to BetUS, sign up, put that promo code in. Tell them Chris Delamont sent you. And that does it for our BetUS Surefire Picks.
Mhm.
All right, man, let's talk about the AFC East Division.
Yep.
Give our predictions. How we feel about this division. You know what? I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go
For
first
sure.
this time because I always make you
Yeah,
go
man.
first. So I'm gonna go
Okay.
first. I think this division is pretty easy
Yeah.
to pick. I think with the consensus is we think the Buffalo Bills is gonna win this division again. I got them going 13-4 this year. I think they're gonna eat out this division. I think they're gonna have a pretty good season this year. I think their defense has elevated this year. I think offensively, some guys are going to step up. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Joshua Palmer. I think is a decent, signing for them. I think those tight ends. I think Dalton Kincaid's going to take a step forward this year too. I think him missing that pass from Josh Allen, even though it was, off-platform pass, he probably still should have caught that pass, and we never know. We could be talking about the Buffalo
Mhm.
Bills going to the Super Bowl and winning it that year. But um, I think he takes a step forward. And I got the Bills going 13-4. The Jets with Justin Fields, I don't think they make the playoffs, but I do think they go 8-9 because I do think their defense is still good. And I do think that defense is still going to keep them in games. I think Justin Fields, I know that people have questions about his throwing ability, but I do think that Justin Fields will help this running game out. I do think that Brees Hall will get back to form to what he used to be. And I think him and Justin Fields will help that a lot. I think Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields will have a little bit of connection because of their Ohio State days. So I think they kind of know each other. So I think Garrett Wilson will continue to be one of the young budding stars in this league. He just got paid, so he's cool. You know what I'm saying? He good. And like I said, I think this defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, but I do think that they're just one piece away, and I think they'll go 8-9 this year. And that's how I feel about the Patriots too. I think the Patriots are a young team. I think Drake May has potential, but we got to see this potential. And I got questions about these weapons around him. Yes, Stephon Diggs was at one time one of the better wide receivers in this league, but he's coming off an ACL tear and he's 33 years old, 34 years old. So we got to see if he can return from that. And the guys that are behind him, they are very young. Kyle Williams, rookie that they picked from Washington State. A lot of people have high hopes for him, but we got to see it on the field. I do like what's his name? Travion
Yep.
Henderson
Yeah, I heard great things about him.
from Ohio State. Yeah, I've heard right now, and he could be a key to a lot of things for that offense. If he can be what he was at Ohio State, he can make life easier for Drake May, and that play action pass can be real lethal if he clicks. Him and Ramondre Stevenson, because people forget Ramondre Stevenson was a fantasy. People loved him in fantasy football, so I think he's a good third down back. Or if Travion Henderson is the third down back, I think they could be a good two-headed monster. Defensively, they got young budding stars. Christian Gonzalez looks like he's going to be one of the top corners in this league. Um, the only thing with him is just staying healthy. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
they added some pieces on this defensive line. Milton from Philadelphia Eagles. He looks like he's going to anchor. Baymore, another guy that could be a nice little star in this league as a defensive tackle. We're gonna see though. We're gonna see, but I think they're gonna go 8-9. I still think they missed the playoffs, and I think I think next year is the year where we start looking at the Patriots like, okay, maybe they make the playoffs this year. And then the Dolphins, I have no hopes for the Dolphins. I think that I don't know. I just don't think that they have the pieces to succeed. They could prove me wrong. Yes, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they are some of the better, one of the better duels in the league when we're talking top wide receiver duels. The only problem with them is Jalen Waddle gets hurt a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They always suffer a lot of injuries. They're running backs. I love what's the running back? What's his name? I forgot.
Achin, Devon
Yeah,
Achin.
Achin, Devon Achin. Kid is a beast. And when he's healthy, he's a walking touchdown. He could take he could take a touchdown from the 5 to the touchdown. He could go 50 yards just like that. But he got to stay healthy. That's the only thing.
Mhm.
He's gotta stay healthy. Um, their defense, they got some pieces on that defense, but another thing, injuries. Injuries always riddle them. Now they're gonna have to figure out that left tackle because um Terrion, I think it's an Armstead. I think he retired. So now they gotta replace that. I know they drafted somebody. They're gonna have to replace that left tackle, and that's gonna be very vital for Tua in his injury history and the concussions and stuff. So because if
Mhm.
we start suffering more concussions, now we're gonna have a different conversation. So we might be seeing Quinn Evers out there trying to play quarterback for the Dolphins, and I think that McDaniel's is on the hot seat. I really do. I
Yeah.
think if the Dolphins start off bad, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired before the trade deadline. I would not be surprised, not one bit. So um, I think they go 5-12 this year. I
Yeah.
do. I don't have no I don't think the Dolphins are going to be that good. I think they're going to be the second worst team possibly in the league this year. So
I'm mad at that. I ain't mad at that. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. We pretty much have the same order. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna waste too much people's time because I totally honestly agree with a lot what Chris said. Again, with the Buffalo Bills, I think I could see them winning about 12 to 13 wins. Obviously, Josh Allen, I think he's going to be competing for another MVP. I like the tandem of James Cook and Ray Davis. A lot of people probably forgot about Ray Davis and what he did last year. Ray Davis was amazing last year. You know what I mean? He pretty much. I think towards the end of the year, I think he was getting a little bit more touches than James Cook was, low key, a little bit. But I like Ray Davis. I think they'll find a way to get Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, those two tight ends. I think they're two very talented tight ends. I think they'll find more ways to do more two tight end sets. Obviously, their offensive line is decent. Their defense is cool. Obviously, on their back end, obviously with the cornerback situation, that's probably the only thing you may have to be worried about. Obviously, Maxwell Harrison. He I think he could be a positive outlook with this defense, but I think he's hurt right now, so we got to see what's up. Number two, I got the Jets, man. I really like it too. I know Justin Fields. Look, man, Justin Fields is who Justin Fields is. I think he's an exciting player. I don't think he's going to be that type that can win you a Super Bowl, but I think he can have a year or two where he can probably win you enough games where you could probably compete to get in a wild card or a situation like that. I think he'll make your team respectable. I think he'll put fear in teams' heart where it's like, damn, we got to play the Jets. We got to play against this kid. He at any moment, at any time, he can break open a play. He can make that throw. We've seen it before. Obviously, you got Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. Those guys are trying to have bounce back years after that terrible year that they had. Their offensive line, obviously, they got some things they got to figure out. Obviously, with the addition of Amon Membu, adding depth to that offensive line. We got to see if he can adapt pretty quick, and the offensive line can mend together and protect Justin Fields. But I think overall, I think that defense is still pretty good, even with the Aaron Glenn not being there anymore. Well, not Aaron Glenn, but you know what I mean. But with Aaron Glenn there, I think he'll make that team back to what we known to be under Robert Saleh. So I think they're going to be pretty good. Patriots, look, I know there's a lot of hype with Drake May and all that, but I think a lot of people are going to come back down to earth with Drake May. I think he still needs another year. for me to make a believer. I need to see progress. Overall, I think this defense is going to be young and great. I think this could be one of the better defenses, probably the best defense, maybe in a year or two. I think it could definitely be up there with the likes of like the Eagles, the Chiefs, and stuff like that. I think the Patriots can be really good on that side of the ball. But again, I agree with you. The weapons on the offensive side, they still leave a lot to be desired. I love Stephon Diggs. I'm a big fan of Stephon Diggs, but coming off of that knee injury, he is older. We got to see how he can produce. You do have Joshua Palmer, which I do like. Not Joshua Palmer. They got what's my man's name? Kendrick Bourne. Like, he's cool. Yeah. Like Mac Hollins, he's good. Like, Mac Hollins produced when he was with the Bills. Like, so it's not like he didn't do anything. So, like, they do have some weapons, but is there anything to, like, be, in awe of? No. But I think at the end of the day, I agree with you. Trevion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, that could be a deadly duo. If they do surprise and, do compete for a playoff spot, I think it will be based on those two guys right there and that running attack. And Drake
they could be something similar to Montgomery and Gibbs.
Absolutely. 100%. Like, just that power and explosion coming from both of those backs. Like, I can definitely see that. So if they do surprise us, like me and Chris, and they do compete with maybe a chance to win this division, I think it's going to come from that running game. It's going to come from that running game, and Drake May's going to come off that play action pass. And with Mike Vrabel, that could be what their plan is for that. So I wouldn't be surprised at that. And then with the Miami Dolphins, I expect Tyreek Hill to get traded. Maybe not during training camp, but I kind of expect it like during even the before the trade deadline. I just think this team is going nowhere. I think with you signing to that deal, I think it's this team just does not excite you. I feel bad for Mike McDaniels. I think he's a great offensive mind. Do I think he's a great head coach? Probably not. I think he'll be better off as just being an offensive coordinator. He's a very kooky guy, but I think offensive minded wise, I think he's brilliant. I think he could be one of the best offensive minds. I think he can compete with the Ben Johnsons and the Sean McVays. But as far as like being an overall coach and having to worry about everything, I don't see it with him. But Jalen Waddle, he stays hurt. I love Devon Achane, but he's another person that is he could be pretty injury prone. And Tua is one hit away from just ending his whole career, and then your backup is pretty much Zach Wilson. Even though I've heard some pretty glowing remarks about Quinn Ewers in training camp, so I've heard a lot of great things about him. But you know what I mean? You do have Chop Robinson there. You still got Bradley Chubb there on the defensive end. You still got Jalen Phillips. So and then obviously they traded for Minka Fitzpatrick, but again, I really don't see anything. And then Darren Waller being there, I think that kind of says enough. So.
Ain't he on the pup list?
Yeah, I don't even think he's even ready to play. So even if he does play, it probably won't be until probably like week 6 or week 5. So by then they might already be out of playoff contention.
Yeah. All right, man. It's time for Maul's favorite segment, Random News. It is now time for Maul's Random News.
Yes, sir. Random news, man. My favorite part, y'all's favorite part. And we all know Chris's favorite part. Because you know why? We get to hear Chris's thoughts about particular topics. And we all know we love to hear Chris talk. So, Chris, are you ready for a couple of topics? Are you ready, sir?
Let's go.
All right, man. So, ESPN's NFL analyst and former Jets GM Ryan Tannenbaum proposed a mock trade. And you tell me if you agree with this. The Cowboys receive running back James Cook, defensive tackle Ed Oliver, and 2 first-round picks, and the Bills receive Micah Parsons. Do you think this trade should go through? And if not, who do you think says no first?
My bad. Say that one more time.
So, all right. So, Ryan Tannenbaum proposed a trade with the Cowboys receiving James Cook, defensive tackle Ed Oliver, and 2 first-round picks, and the Bills receive Michael Parsons. First question is, do you think a trade like that should be accepted? And if not, who do you think says no first, the Bills or the Cowboys?
So James Cook goes to the Cowboys and two first round picks
And Ed Oliver.
and Ed Oliver. I think the Bills say no.
You think the Bills say no? You don't think that? You don't
Mm,
think Michael Parsons worth all that?
Not to say that he's not worth all that. I just don't know if they would want to give up all that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
giving you
lot. That's a lot.
I'm giving you two first round picks and two key players.
Yeah.
Nah,
Would it be better if it was just maybe Ed Oliver and a first or maybe two first round picks,
first and the third,
first and the third, or first and the second or something?
something like that. But Ed Oliver and James Cook, and then James Cook, what he think he'll get paid with the Dallas Cowboys? Jerry
No,
barely
he's
want
not.
to. He barely want to
No,
get paid, but pay
nah.
Micah.
No. I think this helps the Cowboys more. Low
It
key.
do.
I think it
It
helps the Cowboys
does.
way more. Honestly, because now you have imagine James Cook with CD Lamb and George Pickens and Dak Prescott, and you add Ed Oliver, and then you add two first round picks. If I'm the Cowboys, I would do the trade. If the Bills call me and say, "Yeah, we can do that," I'll be like, "All right, let's do it. Let's do it." I love Micah, but come on, man. I'm giving me a all world running back, a defensive tackle who's not bad. Like
No,
he's pretty damn good.
pretty good.
And two first
Yeah.
round picks. I'll take that. Because then you could trade those two first round picks to trade up. You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Use them first round picks to go get something.
Or get some. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Go
I agree
get
with you.
Tyreek Hill. No,
Right? Right. All right, next up, Billboard reports that BET has suspended both the Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train Awards indefinitely. My question to you is: do you think BET should continue the run with the Hip Hop Awards and the Soul Train, or do you think they should just get rid of both?
uh, I don't want to say yeah because I don't want to. I don't want to take away an opportunity from a young hip hop artist that has a chance to show their skills in front of a new audience on that stage. Maybe they need to revamp it and do
Mhm.
something else with it, like do away with this. I don't want to say do away with the ciphers, but if you're gonna have a cipher, have a real cipher. Like take it more serious. Like I don't want to see comedians doing the cipher. I don't want to see you do talking about as a cipher and do the singing.
Yeah.
Like you have some spitters up there. And you could be bridging the gap. You could have a group full of couple of old school guys with some young guys and
Hmm.
have them rapping, passing the torch type thing. Like hip hop war should be a celebration for the young and the old. So
Yeah.
um, maybe they need to revamp it. I'm pretty for sure that the eyes are not on it like it used to be. Like when we used to watch the hip hop awards, that used to be something like, oh, the hip hop awards, because we wanted to see the ciphers. At the end of the day, we wanted to see the freestyle ciphers, and they used to be dope. And then they just started taking a decline, and it just wasn't no memorable, moments anymore because they were just putting anybody in the freestyle, wasn't taking it serious. So,
Yeah.
um, and as far as the Soul Train Awards, I just think that the Soul Train Awards just isn't what it used to be. These kids don't know what Soul Train is unless they mama and they daddy told them what Soul Train is. So it
Yeah.
don't just it don't have the same. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the same prestige that it used to have. So that's probably why a lot of eyes and ears don't be on the Soul Train Awards either. So I can understand the Soul Train Awards, but the Hip Hop Awards, maybe they need to just find a way to revamp it, do something different with
Yeah, I really wish that some of these networks would just get back into showing music videos, bro. I think that would do a lot to help out with certain situations because I think it puts more eyes on newer artists, and I think it puts a little bit of pressure on these guys to produce a lot better and make quality more music because your face
it.
is now linked to the music. You know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
with certain situations, sometimes we don't even know what half these cats look like. So
Mhm.
especially with them BET ciphers. I don't even know who they are anymore. But all right, man. Next up, a hospital in Thailand was fined $37,000. Get this after a disposal company used over 1,000 patients' records as snack wrappers. So if you were to get like a snack wrap, it would have your medical uh, whatever the case may be on that piece of paper, whether it's your, vitals, whatever the case may be, to wrap a snack wrap. What are your thoughts with this? And do you think they should have been fined more than $37,000?
Yes, they need to shut that place down.
Yeah,
Like that's ridiculous. Like you got
yeah,
all
that's
my information on the snack wrap.
yo, facts. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I got ranch and shit all over my damn vitals.
Yeah,
No, yeah, we won $1 million, player.
yeah. No, I mean, you getting way more than 1 million, especially out here. All right, next up, some basketball news. The Knicks are favorites to sign Ben Simmons on a veteran minimum contract. Do you think Ben Simmons could help the Knicks get over the hump?
No, but I do think that he could be vital backup as far as giving Jalen Bronson some rest that he much needs, and I think he'll be help on the defensive side. I do think that
Nah, he'd be help.
Ben Simmons is really good at playing defense. His offensive, that's done. Trying to hope that Ben Simmons becomes the potential that we all thought, or most people thought he was going to be. That's over with. But he could be a good role player. You know what I'm saying? Come off the bench, get some good minutes, give Jalen Bronson a breather. If you want to go big and have a big point guard type deal, you can put Ben Simmons in there, and that he's going to play really good lockdown defense. So he can help, but I don't think he's going to be the game changer. But I think he could help. He could be a vital role player.
Yeah, I think if somebody can tap into Ben Simmons and try to get somewhat of what he used to be, I think it's a plus. I think either way, I think there would literally be one of the best defensive teams when you add him. I think he can guard 1 through 5, and then with those guys, with them already having OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson's nothing to sneeze at. I think they could be legit. All right, next up, Metro Boomin released a new album called Futuristic Summer. Kind of lived through the ATL sounds, I think, from like 2005 or something like that. It got some interesting reviews from certain people. But Metro Boomin tweeted this out a couple days ago. He said it's time for music to get back regional. Social media got everybody trying to do the same thing. Let's get back to the actual culture and regional identity with music. What are your thoughts? Number one, I don't know if you listened to it. If you did, what are your thoughts about his album? And two, what do you think about his thoughts about going back to a regional sound with music?
The first part, no, I haven't heard it. I've heard stuff about it, but I haven't sat down and listened to it. I think he's an amazing producer, though. His second half, I actually agree with. I think that's what's wrong with the music business. I think that's what's wrong, especially in the hip hop genre. I just think that nowadays everybody wants to emulate everybody else, and I get it. Social media has brought us closer to stuff, so it's harder to be regional now because of the internet. We know certain lingos and certain stuff, and we are all using it. A lot of the East Coast lingo, people are starting to use facts and dead ass, and that's all East Coast stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And even some of that shouty and all that stuff, that's down south lingo. Like we're now seeing people from different regions use different lingo from different parts of the world or the states, and I do think we need to get that identity of this is Southern music, this is West Coast. And I think that's why it was so great to see the pop out, because we got to get a feel of what the West Coast has been doing and how we got talented West Coast artists out there. That's what made the pop out so great. That's why with Atlanta was on top for a while because they were very regional. They had their own sound. I think New York has lost that, even though I think Griselda has brought that back. Even though they don't consider them New York, it's Buffalo, but still, they've brought that essence East Coast sound that people have loved and come to love when it comes to New York. We know that's New York sound.
Yeah.
We know a Midwest sound with Freddie Gibbs. He brings that Midwest, Indiana sound, fast rapping. That's all Midwest. Like, I want us to get back to that, to where we know, oh, you from where? I'm tired of seeing some dude do drill music and he's from New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like that's a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
I can't stand their music, but I gotta give props to this. The UK rappers, they got their own style. I may not like it, but they got their own style.
Yeah.
It's their stuff. And I can't knock them for that, for being original. That's their style.
Yeah.
So
No. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. No, I feel you. Um, all right, next up. On the pivot, Devontae Adams made some comments about Travis Hunter playing both on offense and defense in the NFL. He says, I don't even think it's possible to do for real, not at a high level. Once you get out there playing both sides, now you have to tackle. You got to tackle Derrick Henry with that frame. He also said the likes of that, he'll be more more prone to being injured and putting his body on the line on both sides. He just doesn't think it will be sustainable. What are your thoughts with Devontae Adams saying about Travis Hunter, and do you agree?
um I do agree, because just the NFL is just you're playing with all other 5-star. Even the dude on the number 53 was one of the best in the world, and where he comes from. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just different from playing in Colorado and you're playing the Big 12. Like, no disrespect to the players in the Big 12, but not everybody's going to the NFL in the Big 12. They're playing, some of them guys are going to be doctors and lawyers and some other stuff. So it's one thing to do both ways in college, because we've seen it, but it's one thing that you got to go out there for 100 and some snaps and play wide receiver and corner. I've always been the opponent. My thing is I've always thought that Travis Hunter was a better corner than he was a wide receiver. I think he's a weapon at wide receiver, but I always thought he was a better defensive guy. And I always said, let him play corner, let him start off as corner, and then you can work him in the slot when he plays wide receiver. But
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville sees differently, because he is the star. He's the number 2 wide receiver to BJT,
Yeah.
and he's the second string corner. So obviously they want to use, and I get it. The kid is explosive when it comes to wide receiver. I've always been in the mindset that if he played just one thing, he'd probably be one of the greatest at that one thing. Like if he just concentrated on corner, he would be so much better. If he
Yeah.
concentrated wide receiver, he would be so much better. Like we wouldn't be talking about Ted McMillan and all these other guys. I mean, even though he was picked above them, but just imagine what he would do if he just spent all his time saying, I just want to be a wide receiver,
Yeah.
or I just want to be a corner.
Yeah.
Like he'd be up there with the Sauce Gardners and the Derek Stanley Juniors. Like we'd be looking at him like that. So I think it's gonna be difficult. I want to see if he can. He's gonna try it, and Jacksonville is gonna let him do it. But I agree with Devontae, man. The risk of injury is just way too high. When you got to tackle somebody like Derrick Henry, and some of these other running backs, and you got to cover a
Chubbs and
Jamar
all that.
Chubbs, and you got to cover a Jamar Chase, and a T Higgins, and a Rasheed Rice, and then you got 1 week you got to cover it. Like that's difficult, man.
That's a lot.
You are playing the elite of the elite every week.
Yeah.
Ain't no off days where you're playing Tennessee Chattanooga and you're playing some dude that he's okay, but he ain't that good. You're
Right.
playing the best every week, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. It should definitely be interesting to see how everything plays out with Travis Hunter this year. All right, next up, VIA the Masked Man show. Bret Hart says that he told Gunther to his face that his style of wrestling and his chops are bullshit and calls it lazy shit wrestling. I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn all the time, but the best wrestling has to pretend to be real. I mean, that's what I did. I tried to make it as real as I could. Contrary to that Gunther guy, I hate wrestlers that hurt each other on purpose. I hate it when you're out there getting beat up and hurt by a guy for real. The chops look shit. They they make a big slap sound, but they hurt. It's not supposed to be real. Like, I'm not supposed to really wake up with a really sore chest the next day. So I have no respect for guys that hurt each other all the time. And it's just, to me, lazy shit wrestling. When guys like Gunther, and I've told him this to his face, it's bullshit. Like, when you're hurting somebody for real, you're unprofessional. And our wrestle guys never hurt anybody. Um, you are a wrestling guy. What are your thoughts with Bret Hart telling this to Gunther, and do you agree?
Look, I love Brad, but does he not remember? There's this dude. He used to wrestle. He used to be one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time. Ric Flair. Ric Flair chops. Those were real, Brett. He smacked shit out of people. Big Show. You want to talk about Gunther chop? You don't remember Big Show used to put you in the corner and slap the shit out your chest. Benoit. I know we ain't supposed to bring him up, but Benoit has some of the vicious chops I've ever seen. And there's been various other wrestlers who have had chops. I love Gunther. I think Gunther is one of the best. CM Punk said it best, that you could take Gunther and put him in any era of wrestling and he would have thrived. Because he's a throwback. He's not flashy, not flipping off the top rope and all that stuff, but technically he's one of the best. So I don't agree with Bret. I love Bret Hart, but as he gets older, he's starting to become the man on the porch complaining about the kids. He just is. He's becoming the man on the porch complaining about the kids. And anytime, I'm surprised he didn't take this and find a way to talk shit about Goldberg.
Yeah.
Because he always find a way to talk about Goldberg and how Goldberg ruined his career. I don't know who hates who more. Bret Hart hating Goldberg, or I don't know. Seth Rollins hates CM Punk.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. All right, next up, Lil Wayne has officially released all the droughts and dedications on Apple Music. What are your thoughts with this? Are you excited? And do you hope that more artists start releasing their mixtapes onto these platforms like Apple Music and Spotify?
I wouldn't say I'm excited. Look, I was in the minority in the Wayne era. I wasn't the biggest Lil Wayne fan. I mean, I respect the drought and all that stuff, but that's my thing about Lil Wayne. I'm not saying he made bad albums. I think he made pretty good albums. I think the Carter 2 was really good. I think the Carter 1 was really good. Carter 3 was really good too. But I always thought his mixtape stuff was better than his album stuff. I've always said, like, Lil Wayne and Fabulous, they make better mixtape records, and then their albums be good, but they don't be their mixtapes. Mm-hmm. But I do think that more artists should be able to put their mixtapes on Apple Music, Spotify, and all that stuff. Because some of that stuff is classic, man. A lot of that stuff is classic. A lot of those mixtapes are classic. You know, Fab got classics when it comes to the mixtapes. 50 Cent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes that came up in the mixtape game, they got some classic stuff. So, of course.
Yeah. Hopefully, Tory Lanez, I hope you put out all them Chicks tapes, bro. I need them Chicks tapes on there. For sure. All right, man. We got a couple more and then we can push through. Per Brett Siegel of the NBA, he's a reporter. He says Joel Embiid's knee is reportedly in bad shape, and he's likely to miss the start of training camp. Some around the league believe the Sixers regret extending him. Quote, Embiid has struggled getting back on the court this offseason, and there is growing concern that he will not be ready for the start of training camp, league sources told Clutch Points. The common word associated with Embiid and his health this offseason is that things are bad. Several rival teams in the Eastern Conference who spoke with Clutch Points a couple weeks ago at NBA Summer League confirmed mixed signals coming from the Sixers regarding Embiid's knee health, with one executive stating that the 76ers are regretting their decision to extend the big man's contract in 2024. What are your thoughts with Embiid, and how much longer do you think Embiid continuously tries to play with this bad knee?
I think this is it, man. I just do, man. I just think it's over. I just think it's just too many knee injuries, man. And It's unfortunate, man, because he's a great player, man, and he could be one. We could be talking about Embiid as one of the top players in this league, man, and possibly being the best, but he just never can stay healthy. And that knee injury he came in the league like that.
Yeah,
Leg injury after leg injury after leg injury. And
he had
it's
the
taking
back
it
injury
that,
too. Hmm.
yeah. And that stuff just takes a toll on your body, man. You don't get younger, you get older.
Yeah,
And when you get older with knee problems, it gets worse. The healing process ain't the same, and it's only so many surgeries you can get on your knee. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's over, man.
Yeah, if this is true, and this will be one of the more sadder careers because it's just the potential that Joel Embiid had, and we saw the potential. Like we know it was there. There was no like, we could have saw it. No, we saw it. Like if he would have stayed healthy and remained to stay healthy, I think Joel Embiid could have ended up being the best big man of all time. I really believe that because he had the whole entire package, but hopefully, man, they can find a way to, get his knee right so he can try to play. I think this Philly team could surprise if they can get healthy, but we'll see. All right, next up, Russia has claimed to have developed a cancer vaccine that will be free of charge to patients. The vaccine is said to slow tumor progression and also reduce the tumor size by 75 to 80%. What are your thoughts with this? And how would you accept something like this from Russia? And do you think the United States should also get involved with this as well, if it's true?
If they haven't got involved already, and they're gonna charge you up the wazoo to do it, but have some good insurance, player. Because if you don't, yeah, SOL. Bottom line. So
Yeah,
yes, if I had those issues, yeah, of course, it was gonna help me, of course. But like I said, you gotta add that insurance. If that insurance don't cover the cost, it ain't gonna happen. And you know how USA is. They don't like if you look at all the overseas people, like modern medicine over there, that's just like what they do. Not to say they don't get paid over there, but it ain't like the USA where they charge you up the wazoo for stuff that is crucial to human life,
yeah,
and they make it so expensive and so hard to obtain some of these surgeries, and you got to get put on the list to get a new heart, or what I'm saying, cancer, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a very difficult to get these modern medicines over here and get all these cures over here because all these doctors and hospitals, they want to charge people up the wazoo to get these surgeries and stuff done instead of just saying, hey man, this person has a chance to live, let's help them out. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it is what it is, but yeah, I would do it if I had that issue.
for sure. All right, last one. A lot of us remember this movie, Small Soldiers. Well, Small Soldiers co-writer Adam Rifkin says it's time for a sequel. Do you agree? Would you like to see a sequel? What are your thoughts?
We are the Gorgonites. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, let's see what they do with the technology, because the technology back then wasn't what it is now. You know what I'm saying? With the
Yeah, for
CGI
sure.
and stuff. So they
Yeah.
probably could do a lot more with it. But
Hmm.
I like the first one. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what they do.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't mind a Small Soldiers 2. I wouldn't mind it. I think it would be pretty fire. Hopefully, they get some good actors if they do decide to go that route.
Yeah,
All right, man.
sure the
That's it for
kids will like it.
randoms. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Shit, I would like it. Shit, Small Soldiers is a crucial part to my childhood. I used to watch that all the time. So,
Right.
all right, man. That's it for random news.
All right, man. Last but not least, let's do our NFL award predictions. So
Okay.
I'm gonna read off something. You let me know what you think it's gonna be.
Okay.
So we're gonna start at the bottom. Number one, comeback player of the year.
I'm gonna go with Aiden Hutchinson, man. Coming off that leg injury, I think that's probably the easiest one. You've heard amazing things coming out of camp where he's being very, very dominant. He's very healthy. I really like Aiden Hutchinson to win this. I think a lot of people will probably be rooting for him to get this award as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think that if he goes out there and balls out and gets, 12 to 14, 15 sacks, the award is his. He's going to put his
Yeah,
name on the trophy. So,
yeah.
uh, next award is the Deacon Jones Award. This is awarded to the person with the most sacks in a season. So, who you got?
I'm gonna be biased, man. I'm gonna go with my man Max Crosby. I'm gonna go with the Condor, baby. I'm gonna go with my man, the Condor, man. I think there's a lot of excitement with this team. Obviously, it does suck, with the whole Christian Wilkins thing. Um, but I think Max Crosby is I think he's pretty motivated. And I think he's gonna try to go for the sack lead this year. So I'm gonna go with Max.
As much as I want to go with CJ, I'm not. I'm going with Jared Verse, man. I think Jared Verse is going to emerge and have about 17 to 18 sacks this year. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Jared Verse.
I'm not mad at that.
Next up, Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. Oh, man. I'm not gonna be biased. I ain't gonna say Pete Carroll. I'm gonna go with my man from the Panthers. What's his name?
David Canales.
I'm gonna go with Dave Canales. I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with him. I think the Panthers are going to compete to win that division. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people, and I'm gonna go with him. I think he's gonna get the nod.
Man, get out of my head, man. I got David Canales too. I think the Panthers are going to make it to the damn playoffs this year, and I think that he's going to get the Coach of the Year for turning that organization around.
Yep.
All right, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I'm gonna go with Will Johnson. I think it's gonna be between Abdul Carter and Will Johnson, but I'm gonna go with Will Johnson, man. I've heard a lot of great things about him in camp dominating. I think he could be a big proponent for that defense becoming the best side of the football for that team. I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with Will Johnson.
I'm going with Abdul Carter, man. You see that first step coming off?
Oh
that
yeah. I feel you. I think that's the easy answer though. I think Abdul Carter's the easy answer.
I'm going with Abdul Carter. He's going to have about 10 to 12 sacks this year.
For sure.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, Ashton Genty, man. It's gonna be Ashton Genty, bro. Come on, man. What are you talking about?
I'm not mad at that. But I'm going with Killer Cam Ward. I think he's gonna surprise.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I think he's gonna surprise some people this year. I think people are doubting the Titans, and I think they're gonna be better than what people. I ain't saying they're gonna go to the playoffs, but I do think they're gonna be a respectable team with him at the helm, and I think he's gonna have a really good season for a rookie. So, All right, Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna go with Patrick Surtain. I think Patrick Surtain is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's the best cornerback in the league. I know a lot of the time it usually goes to the D linemen and stuff like that, just because of the sacks and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go with Patrick Surtain.
Since you were biased, I'm gonna be biased too. I got my man Chris Jones, man. I think my man Chris Jones is gonna show up to this year. I think he's disappointed in himself for having 5.5 sacks, even though all them sacks don't always be equal. It ain't always about the sacks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes sacks can be missed. It's like interceptions. Motherfucker can get 4 interceptions in 2 games and be like, oh yeah, 4 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? So I think my man Chris Jones is gonna show. I think he's gonna have about 15 sacks this year, but he's gonna be so impactful on that defense that you just gotta be like, yo, my man Chris Jones. So Offensive Player of the Year.
Offensive Player of the Year. I'm 'Gonna go with Patrick Surtain. I think he's the best cornerback in the league. I know a lot of the time it usually goes to the D linemen and stuff like that, just because of the sacks and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go with Patrick Surtain.
I
Man, this is a good one. I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I think he'll be the offensive player of the year.
I'm gonna roll with Atlanta's finest, Bijan Robinson. I think that man about to have about 16 to 1,700 yards this year with Michael Penix at the helm.
Yeah, he's gonna have a big year this year. Yeah.
I think Bijan is ready to just take over. Be that young. You got Saquon giving you love. You ain't got nothing but you got it. Hey, you gotta go out there and show it.
Yeah.
Not to say that he hasn't, but I just think that boast of confidence from Saquon telling him, hey, I can't even do what Bijan does. And we all think Saquon is this man jumped backwards on the nigga.
Yeah.
So if Saquon is like, I can't even do some of the stuff that man does. Yeah. Bijan's going to break out this year. I think he's going to be the focal point of this offense, and I think he's going to have a great year. I think he's going to have a Saquon type year. So,
I'm not mad.
And last but not least, MVP.
I'm going with Lamar Jackson. I just think at this point it's Lamar's to lose. At this point, you could have easily said he could have won it last year. They just gave it to Josh Allen because So I'm gonna go with Lamar.
I'm biased, nigga. Patrick LaVon Mahomes is getting the MVP. Y'all fucked up. Y'all talking shit about my man. You got him fourth on the list. You gave him a 95 in Madden. MVP Mahomes this year.
We'll see.
God damn it. I'm sick of y'all.
Damn. All right, man.
That's it, man. You got anything else?
Excited to see my Raiders tomorrow. They play tomorrow against the Seahawks. Starters will be playing a little bit, so we will get to see Ashton Genty. Madden coming out tomorrow. Excited about that. Hopefully that game is good. Hopefully it's a lot better than what college football is. So I'm excited to get into that. Huh? You
the guinea pig. You let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll have my review on Monday. And then also, I'm super excited to watch this Weapons movie. I bought my ticket. I'm going on Sunday.
Got 100%.
I heard it's getting amazing reviews. So I've been hyping this movie up for a long time. I've been talking about this movie for a long time. So I am super excited. So those are some of the things I'm looking forward to for the weekend. What about you? What are you looking forward to this weekend?
See my Chiefs on Saturday.
Okay.
See football, period. You know, I want to see some of these young guys play this year. You know what I'm saying? In the preseason, get some burn, see how they look. Anthony Richardson, maybe I want to see you put on a show.
Yeah, he played tomorrow, so I'm excited to see how he does.
Shedeur, I've seen some clips. I like what I'm seeing from you, Anthony. I do like what I see. You put a little spin on that ball, and you're putting it in places. And you know who's looking good in Colts? Might have a breakout season. A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about him too.
A.D. Mitchell's out there torching the Ravens corners.
Oh, let me ask you. So minus Shedeur and minus Cam, who is a rookie that you are really excited to see this weekend that you're gonna keep your eye
on? Man, I don't know. Is your boy playing?
Genty? Yeah, Genty's gonna play. He's playing tomorrow.
I want to see what Genty, of course, Abdul Carter, and Amarion Hampton. Hopefully, he can redeem himself after that run. Because I tried to get you to join the Sports After Dark.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, but I was preoccupied.
They was talking bad about the dude representing the Chargers. He did not like that pick. He said, "Dude,
he didn't like Amarion Hampton." Oh, that's crazy.
He said he ain't got no vision.
Man, that's crazy.
Because I do think, and I think I told you this, I do think he should have broke it in instead of trying to break it out. But it's one game. It's one relax. But I'm excited to see what he does. RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson from the Steelers. I want to see what he can do. Some of these tight ends, Tyler Warren, is that his name? Tyler Warren. See what he can do. Some of my rookies, you know what I'm saying? Amarion Hampton, Omar Norman Lott, Jalen Royals, Ashton Gelati, Joshua Simmons. See how he looks against somebody outside of somebody playing, on the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? See how he look. Yeah, man, that's about it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see obviously the development of Tyree Wilson, and obviously there's going to be a lot of big shoes for him to fill with, especially with the whole Christian Wilkins thing. Obviously, I'm excited to see Travis Hunter, see what he kind of looks like with
Yeah.
obviously
Mm-hmm.
obviously I feel like with him you're not going to really know until actually the regular season and how they're really going to use him. But I'm just going to be excited to see how he plays and honestly how often he plays both sides of the field. I wonder if they are going to do that with him this preseason. Anthony Richardson, I'm very curious to see his where that race is as far as like with the QB race. I think that one will be very interesting. I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of interested to see Jackson Dart. I know me and you talk mess about him, but I am kind of curious to see what he looks like with the Giants and what Brian Dable will do with him. Matthew Golden, I'm pretty excited to see him, and Emeka Ibuke with the Bucks. I'm really excited to see him. Who else am I excited to see? I'm curious to see how some of those guys they got on the defensive side for the Falcons, like James Pierce Jr. I'm excited to see what they look like with that defense because obviously I think with the Falcons, if they can just get some pressure with that offense, like they could be very explosive, man. This team could be really, really good. So, and then obviously, you know what? Got to say it, man. I know we talk mess about him a lot, and I know we both think he's not ready, but JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy is one that I think is going to be interesting to watch this preseason.
We'll see.
Yeah, football's back, baby. So that's the best thing. Degenerates, go bet. Hey, and I'm saying this right now. I told Chris this earlier today. Yo, bet Arizona against New Orleans week 1, man. If AZ don't cover that, hey, don't bet Arizona again. You'll just know right off the
Tyler Shook about to have
right
a
off
game
the
in
bat.
his life. Tyler Shook about to have a game in his life.
Why you keep saying that? Why you keep saying that?
Because you putting a whole bunch on this Arizona. Tyler Shook about to have a game in his life.
All right, man. I'm just saying, AZ should cover
3
that.
bills and 4 touchdowns.
Score about to be 45-20. Hey, if it don't work, blame Chris. Don't come to me. I'm putting good.
Don't blame me. I'm blame the Jamal curse of death over here.
Nah, that's you. You want to put a negative energy on it? I'm over here throwing positivity in the air.
The kiss of death over here on the Arizona. What the Cardinals do to you? And they ain't even in your division. Man. They ain't on your conference.
Come on, man. Hey, man. Yeah, man. No, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
I thought you liked Kyler Murray, man.
I do like Kyler Murray. I like Kyler Murray. I'm a big fan of Kyler Murray. Oh, you know who also I'm excited? I've heard that he's not looking good. Is Xavier Legette? I'm very curious to see how he's going to look.
Good?
I've heard some things where he hasn't looked as advanced as some people would have hoped him to look going into his second year. I've heard.
A lot of people said that he was a boomer bust type player.
Yeah,
he has all the measurables and all that stuff. They, comparing him to DK. And I don't know, maybe it's just, I don't know. Some players just take some time. I don't like to give up on a guy so early. A lot of these dudes, they don't produce year 1. Oh, you're bums. Like, damn, man. Like, NFL is hard, man.
Yeah, we're very quick to judge. You know what I mean?
We'll drop a dude in a second. It's like, I don't think you got it. Like, damn. Can my man get a couple of years in?
No, for real.
But yeah, we'll see. All right, man. If you look at the screen, you'll see the QR code for the WWE shop. Go ahead and scan that code so you can get the latest in WWE merch from Roman Reigns, your world champion, Seth freaking Rollins, Cody Rhodes, your other WWE champion, John Cena, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Naomi, Bianca, Jade Cargill, all the cast and characters in WWE. Go ahead and scan that QR code so you can get all your merch. And if you want to donate to our Cash App, you can donate to Chris Small Podcast. We will greatly appreciate whatever you donate to us. And whatever streaming platform you use, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you use to listen to your podcast, the Chris Lamar podcast is available. First time watchers on YouTube, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays. You could jump in the live. You could talk about these topics. Give us your opinion. Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? We want to hear from you, man. We don't discriminate over here. As long as you just talk to us nice. Don't come over here talking crazy to us. That's all we have. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, Kick, whatever you use to do your social media on, you can find us at Chris and Maul. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, so we will follow you back. We like to talk sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. If you have feedback or critiques, or if you have a question or topic that you want us to bring up on the show and we like said topic, we will bring it up. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up via DM, email, or our mentions. All right, good people. I hope you have a good rest of your week. Be safe out there. Like I said, preseason football kicks off this week. We are almost here, people. A few more weeks, and we'll get regular season football. And college football is coming up soon, too. And I know your fantasy leagues are jumping up, too. You know what I'm saying? So good luck in that, too. Getting your mock drafts in and all that good stuff. So we got ours. Still trying to figure ours out a little bit. We need one more person.
Yeah, we just need one more person, but we got the day
You
going
know.
on. Hopefully, we can do this. We'll do our fantasy draft order on this pod. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
hopefully.
Worst case scenario, we'll just do it, and then whenever somebody comes, be like, "All right, bro, you just got this spot." So
Damn.
sorry,
But yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Be safe out there. And we'll be back Monday morning with all the sports news. Until then,
enjoy y'all weekend,
we
man.
are out.